you want to save money on your trading card purchases, we have a promo link over at 50cards.shop. Enter the promo code ATNIGHT to get 5% off your order. Hey everybody, welcome to Nexus Ignite, your weekly Vanguard podcast. I'm Atlas.
I'm Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And today we're talking about Crest, the toothpaste, I guess.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
We're looking at the Crest mechanic that was revealed for the Chronojet ride line that is coming out for Overdress, which by extension means it's in premium too.
What the hell's a Crest?
So Crest is a toothpaste that you put on your toothbrush. No, Crest is this thing, which for people just listening to the episode, it says the player that has the crest gains the abilities written on the card itself.
Mm-hmm.
And
awesome.
What's going on?
No, I'm saying I was looking at proof cord again, and it looks like so you get the ability is on the card, and you just start the game with it, and it's not part of the main deck.
Okay, so it's not something you got to find or have it be part of your ride line. Yeah. It's just like, here's my ride deck, here's my crest, let's do it.
Yes.
I
mean, that would be very stupid once we read the card for it to be something you have to draw.
Yeah. I imagine if it was going to be an actual card, they would have it be like what Virena does and have it like be part of the ride line effect, right? Where you like when this is placed on Van, search your deck for a crest and play it or something.
Yeah, but it
Oh.
looks like you just start the game with it.
Mm-hmm. And the effect here is so Crest Chronojet Dragon, which implies there might be more of these in the future. Maybe
possibly.
Crest, super white or whatever you want to call it. So continuous, you can perform stride and cannot ride a grade 3 or greater unit that does not have Chronojet in its name. So you're stuck performing the Persona ride, the humanity.
I mean,
the original
Persona ride.
That's true, but if someone did have Persona ride, you'd be stuck with it. The original power of your grade 3 with Chronojet in their card name becomes 13k. Also applies when they're heart cards. Continuous during your turn if you have a grade 3 or greater with Chronojet Vanguard with Chronojet in its name. All of your front row units get plus 5k for each face-up card in your G zone. We'll get to that in a second. And then auto at the start of your battle phase, choose up to one of your grade 3 or greater rear guards and increase or decrease its grade to 0. So
that's a lot. So basically, if your Vanguard 13 and pumps up something.
Yeah, start of your turn, or
it's continuous during your turn.
Yeah,
and all your front row get 5k because
for each face-up card in your G zone, so it scales.
Great. That's not going to be incredibly insane.
All right, I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this only for D?
I have no idea. I don't think they've specified yet.
It's funny you say that because during stream this week they showed this thing, which
when they say premium, they mean more expensive in this case.
I see. So it's not premium format. It's just
premium as in this is a premium set with extra things in it.
I see. Well, that's badly named then. Right?
Yeah, they should have said like deluxe.
Yeah, that would have been a better word.
That could have been a translation thing, but yes, when I'm looking at proof cord and when they say this is included in the premium version, it's in brackets higher cost.
I see.
So it's referring to the more expensive version that has like extra stickers, like deck boxes, play mats.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Well, glad I avoided looking stupid, and by that I mean did not avoid looking stupid at all. So it still remains to be seen whether or not you can use this thing in premium format.
Yes, as far as I know, no one has actually said whether or not it's usable in premium.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone is just assuming it is because they haven't said otherwise yet.
I mean, it says that, I don't know, that does not have Chronojet in its name. And it's generic, right? It's not saying like Chronojet Dragon. It's saying
Yeah, it
any
says with
Chronojet.
Yeah, anything with Chronojet in its name.
But like, for some reason, the way you worded it, where it was kind of attached to the ride deck, made me think it wasn't in premium because there's no ride deck.
Yeah.
But maybe that was not the case, and it was just kind of like where the conversation went.
No,
Kinda,
it's not
yeah.
really attached to the ride deck either. It's just something you have at the start of the game.
The buddy
So it'd
fight
be
flag.
I imagine it's that same thing with like
Yeah.
here are my gift markers. Here's my G zone. Here's my crest. Right?
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think I never played buddy fight, so I don't know how the flag mechanic works. But a lot of people have compared it to that.
Okay, that would make sense. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Buddy fight. I guess I never played buddy fight.
Yeah. So let's discuss what this actually does. Because one of the things that is on this card is that it gives you the ability to stride. So, like, if you did not have this crest, like you lost it for some reason, you just would not be able to stride with Chronojet.
Interesting.
And then, yeah. So that line of text makes me think that like it's tied to standard because that's how you get the ability to stride in standard. But then, they have not actually said otherwise in terms of like whether or not it will be usable in premium. As far as I know.
I'm curious as to what this like. Okay, so when they first revealed that Chronojet was coming out in standard, some people were like, "Why?" Because they're going to cram it in there along with PBD and Dragonic Overlord. But as far as lore goes, which I do not care about the lore at all, but it makes sense if your Chronicle is supposed to be like time travelers, and then they just like show up in the middle of your nice, neat, overdressed format with strides because they cramered their way into the metagame.
So, as far as that goes, it is interesting that they're trying to like revive these old like G era cards because, like I had said the last time we addressed this, like there are a lot of interesting things that still exist in G. They're just like not as viable anymore due to how the game has changed in terms of like what standard power looks like and all of that.
11K grade 3s.
Versus 13, things like gifts and Persona Ride. Although, stride bonuses kind of still are their own thing, sort of.
If they found a way to make the original Gaia Emperor just be 12K with an Excel gift, I would probably play that in premium. Like that effect is that good. The call up to 2 things from hand, give them the effect when they die, they come back. Like, so good.
Oh, clearly we're gonna get Gaia in D. Clearly,
right?
It is ancient dinosaurs or whatever, right?
Yeah. Why shouldn't dinosaurs be able to time travel?
Yeah.
No, see, what they're going to do is they're going to release Gaia Desperado in V, and we're all going to be very sad.
You mean Gaia Death Parade?
Yes, Gaia Death Parade.
I want it to be over.
Just one of my favorite rants of yours is it's not Desuparado, it's Desuparado. Like,
well,
I can see the veins popping,
there's a chance that it could have been Death Parade in an alternate universe. So
yeah,
sure.
I mean, Buddy Fight was the game that had Slayman instead of Suleiman.
That's true.
So literally just Slayman is what they put it.
I mean, Suleiman was an Ottoman emperor, so that's
no, but they put like the word slay,
Slay,
the word man.
Oh. Literally, I thought it was just like
No.
A man who slays people, Slayman.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Gotcha.
Which was pretty funny.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. So there was one other thing. The power stacking kind of bothers me.
Things are going to get pretty big, huh? Because it's not even like Persona Ride like forces you to have it again, right?
Yeah.
But this is just like once you kind of get it rolling, you just have it forever.
Yeah. So this is one of those like I think when this set is going to first come out, that this probably won't be that big a deal because, like, as I was thinking about it, I realized, like, if they're going first, they just can't stride because standard stride rules.
Right.
So, and then if Fate Rider is more or less the same as its previous incarnation, where it didn't flip anything up, then it's not going to be until, like, their third grade 3 turn that they actually get anything going.
Okay.
Now, in that case, like, once they start doing that, if next stage is also what I'm assuming, where it's basically the same as the original and flip something up, that means by their third turn, then they will finally have plus 15k. But at that point, it is much slower than anything else that's happening. So, and then if you're going second again, like if Fate Rider doesn't flip anything, you're still waiting until like your next turn after that, and then your opponent's going first, and they have the ability to Persona Ride. But all of that hinges on whether or not Fate Rider flips anything up. So if they just print it to be exactly the same as its original form, it's probably not that big a deal, or like close to it where it didn't flip anything up. Otherwise, like if you could just stride and flip something up, then yes, the power will stack much faster, although you are still unable to do this on your first grade 3 turn if you're going first.
Okay. So that said, that means Chronojet just doesn't really have, like, it's a going second deck. It has to be.
Probably,
Yeah.
just by virtue of like needing to stride.
Mhm.
Like it is probably comparable to like grade 4 Bruce in that way, where like final rush, and then also because you're on grade 4, you're not getting the Persona Ride. So that deck probably does have a ramp up time like Bruce, but once it gets going, like we kind of have to see what all of the cards do first.
Right.
I don't think they've actually revealed any of the actual rear guards yet.
They said like what the cards were in its ride line, like Laser Gear and Smoke Gear.
Yeah.
And Chronodron being the starter. So do we know what they do yet, or is it just names?
Just names.
All right.
Like we have the names, we have the Crest as the mechanic and like what the Crest does, but they have not shown the text for next stage or Fate Rider. They have not shown the text for any of the rear guards. We just have no idea what any of them do yet.
Excellent.
So seeing as like what Time Leap and Chronojet Z and Zodiac Time Beast, like late Jira Zodiac Time Beast did, I'm incredibly wary, but also like early G Chronojet wasn't really a thing. Like just
I'm worried about the scaling power long term. This seems like a very big future proofing problem where if Chronojet gets the ability to flip up cards in the G zone faster, this could be a problem. Yeah. And again, they have not specified whether or not it's legal in premium. I feel it should not be because it is much easier to get it in premium. And plus you can still play it with.
It just turns Chronojet Z, which was the best one, into a powerhouse.
Yes. So, and if you wanted to stack it with like Force Gifts, you can still use it with V Chronojet because it still has the name.
True.
So, imagine you have, you can flip up G guards and stuff, so you're at like plus 20, plus 30k, and then you just have Force 2.
Vomit. Dude.
That's absolutely not going to be a problem in any way at all if this were legal in premium.
That's absolutely.
What I Maybe it's better for them not to then.
Like, I think this card should not be legal in premium. Like, the scaling plus 5k power in an environment where striding is much faster and easier is... Or getting things into the G zone face up is faster and easier, I should say. Like, I feel like in that environment, this card is very unbalanced. And, the thing where you can, like, at the beginning of your battle phase, turn a grade 3 into a grade 0, that enables, like, time leap shenanigans. But off the top of my head, I can't think of anything crazy just yet. I'm sure people will find a way.
It's like the Raptors testing the fences. Someone's going to figure some shit out.
Yeah. Like, something will probably happen from being able to, like, turn a grade 3 to a grade 0 for time leap stuff, but... I don't play Gear Chronicle, so I'll leave that for someone else to figure out.
I would have to ask one of my friends, because he, for some reason, still does it. Although, at this point in time, double Mystery Flare is like a thing. So
Yes.
he stuck around for long enough where it started to pay off for him again.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's definitely something to be afraid of. I hope that they have the foresight to not not make the Crest legal and premium. If it was the other thing that I suggested, where it's part of the ride line and you had to like find it and play it, maybe. But
yeah, but
it's not. So
yeah, as it stands, it's just like you just have it. So I personally don't think this should be legal in premium. I know a lot of people were excited for it in premium because it can like revive a lot of these old Chronojet cards, but I think the Crest as it's currently designed is probably not healthy for the format. Like, and I know people are going to bring up that the format is already broken, but we don't need to make a broken format worse.
More broken, yeah.
Well, why not?
I'm starting to think that people will just call premium broken no matter what how somewhat balanced it is, whether it's balanced or not.
So
it's like
people want to do dumb broken things in premium, but people want to also feel like their decisions matter as well. So like when you have decks that are just kind of like, I'm just gonna roll some dice, and if I hit it, you lose, and if I don't hit, or if I hit it, I win. If I don't hit it, I lose. Kind of take away people's ability to make meaningful decisions in the format, which is kind of where it gets a little difficult. Because it's like people want some decks that feel like that have like unfair things about them, but they also want to feel that like their decisions playing any deck matters.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, oh, well, I'm playing this deck because it's consistent enough, and if I hit it, I win the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's what makes the Mystery Flare and Ripple thing so galling, is because for literally everything else, when your opponent's turn is done, then it's yours. And for Mystery Flare, it's not. It's theirs again.
Yeah, like the deck can brick, but like you
hoping for your
opponent,
enough.
You hoping for your opponent to brick is still like
bad,
not gameplay, right?
Yep.
And then the Ripple thing, it's like just if you draw Odysseus, it's checkmate, right?
It's Odysseus is and you're so likely to see Odysseus.
Yeah.
More so.
Honestly, it's kind of amazing all of the Ripple decks in Georgia just like missed top cut.
Did they all get bubbled out like what we thought like Ezel was going to top, and then they all got bubbled out from Springfest? Kind of like that?
Yeah, sort of. At least a couple of them were just stopped by trigger because over triggers are fair and balanced.
Oh, true.
It's like
and then
it's like chemotherapy to cancer.
Yeah, so there were. Do we want to just talk about that while we're here?
Yeah, why not? We're done with the Crest thing. Something toothpaste. Moving on.
Like the Crest is kind of cool for standard. I'm a little wary of it in premium, but like if it is legal, we'll see if like Chronojet ends up doing anything.
Yeah.
And also, I guess one last question is like, how do you feel about the Crest as like a concept, as design space for them to explore?
I think it's kind of neat, but I think at least the base idea is neat. I'm unsure how I feel about the Crest just as like a game mechanic. Because it's something that's like I think the power could be a lot. Because like it scales up so quickly, especially if like it's like old G format where things like unflip each other.
Yep.
But I think I would wait until I see more cards to make a decision on that. But I am kind of like, it is interesting to me, but I'm a little cautious.
Yeah, I'm in the same place. I think it hinges. I assume next stage at the very least is gonna like put itself back to G Zone and restand Chronojet. So I like on the next stage turn, you are going to get some amount of power, like at least 5, possibly 10, and then. It remains to be seen whether or not they'll like significantly change Fate Rider, because I think the original was the original Fate Rider was like not that great when I read it again.
Wasn't it like put something back and then get something one grade up or something?
Yes, as an act ability.
Yeah,
so you can't even like multi-attack with it.
Yeah.
But the main thing is that the original Fate Rider did not flip anything, so if they keep that aspect of it, I think it's going to be fine, at least like early on. If they release more strides that unflip themselves early, this may become far more problematic, but we'll see. But yeah, like as a concept, it's interesting. Like whether I would want to see it in other decks, I don't know. Because every time they introduce like a mechanic like this, it either ends up like forgotten like orders in V series, or it starts to like dominate the game a bit and change the way everything is played, like GIFs. And we don't need another goddamn reboot because they made a horrible mistake.
Yeah, seizing on that, it kind of reminds me of if an artist were to take an album that they released, 20 years ago, and they go, I'm going to release this, but I'm going to change all the songs, not like remaster them or whatever. I mean, like I'm smarter now. I'm a different person now. I'm going to change what I did back then. It's like George Lucas with the Star Wars, the Star Wars original trilogy, basically. Yeah. Like it would be a way to errata cards without actually errataing cards. And we all know that you don't want to errata your cards as a TCG maker. And their way of doing it the other way, which was like re-release them in V, and now they got imaginary gifts. And it was kind of neat where like they would let you use that old support, but it also led to a bunch of broken shit because that's how that works. And like it was bound to happen. And if that's how they're going to like continue, where they sort of go back to these old names so you can use that old stuff again, so be it. But like to do it with a card that instead of just being a new version of Gaia, of Altmile, of Asha, of whoever, it's instead going, I'm going to redo that old Gaia with this new thing that isn't a new Gaia. It's just, it's a new coat of paint. It's a new clothes.
I am like cautiously optimistic about this. I think it's neat to like breathe new life into these old cards, especially because, going through 2 reboots hits pretty hard. You have a lot of these old cards that you want to still play with, but, aren't usable in the current format. So I'm sure there's a lot of people who are very happy that their old Chronojets are legal again. I think like this particular execution of it, I'm a little worried about. I feel like Bushiroad should have learned its lesson on free scaling power gain by now, but evidently they didn't.
They could have just had the time leap thing with the make anything like.
I mean, they needed something to match the power of Persona riding, but then it could have just been like if you have like 1 or 2 cards like face up, then plus 10k, right?
Yeah, that would
like it would still be more consistent than Persona riding, but at least. Which would still be a discussion in and of itself, because like I do feel like there are some games that are determined by whether or not you manage to Persona ride, but at the very least, it's like fixed. It's something that's within the realm of other decks. So if Gear Chronicle is good enough at grinding out the game and can get to that like 3rd or 4th stride where you have ridiculous amounts of power, I could see it being a problem. But
that could just be the win con, right? Like, it would start, the meta would start shifting toward either games that can last long enough for Chronojet to do its thing, or games that or decks that are aggressive enough to where they can kill Chronojet before it becomes a problem. On the other hand, Tauntaun's in the background.
Yeah, but again, we'll see how this actually plays out. Like, I think I can appreciate that they're trying to like revamp the old Chronojet while also still having like reasonable concerns based on the mistakes they've made in the past.
I have some 1 foot on one side of the fence, 1 foot on the other for different reasons, right? Well, only way to know is to really like, I got to see what the rest of this ride line does. I want to see what the rest of the TD does. We'll find it. Yeah.
My current prediction is that the Chronojet set will be fine when it first releases. Like I'm just assuming that like it's going to be slow enough that it's probably going to be something like Bruce where you need to ramp up, and we just have to see like how good the ramp up is.
Hopefully there aren't any Dark States cards that we've completely forgotten about.
Like what?
I don't know. Completely forgotten about. I don't know.
I can't imagine anything that current Dark States is doing would mesh very well with Chronojet.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, because like with the other encounter decks, like nothing in particular really like broke any of them. Like Overlord only got good after like getting a promo. PBO,
I'm not even sure that deck's good. I think it just checks triggers.
Yeah. Like PBO, you know, that's like fine, but that's just because of like new support. And I guess Majesty Lord Blaster did top something.
PBD topped something. We don't even know what's going on anymore. Oh wait, that was.
I think that was. I think that.
Yeah, well, that was Omar, and that was because like the other team bubbled out.
Yeah,
but also they did well, and I don't want to like shit talk our friends too much.
I'm not shit talking our friend. I'm just saying like.
No, I'm saying what I was saying like kind of sounded like if I was shit talking our friends.
I see.
I don't think new PBD's that bad.
Yeah, no, like Overlord is fine. Dragon was like,
that was not it.
Yeah, I mean, if it worked for like I have the notebook with his record in it. He did fine. So yeah,
that was funny.
Do we have like a product stream coming up in a few weeks or anything like that?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I assume a ban list is going to be.
God,
somewhere.
I hope so.
What would you guys want to see on that? Because a lot of the
Mystery Flair and Odysseus.
Okay. To what?
I mean, they should just be gone.
Okay.
Like Odysseus definitely should just be gone. I don't know enough about how the Mystery Flair works to know if there's maybe something else, but like Ripples is one case where it's like, no, the problem card is very direct and obvious, and we should just get rid of it. And didn't Jaime like just make a video about an infinite Ripple loop?
Yeah, yeah, Odysseus should just be gone. I agree with that. Or to 1 or whatever. If
Odysseus, I think Odysseus to 1 doesn't actually like do enough because of the infinite loop. It should probably just be gone.
Okay,
but I also did not fully watch the video about the infinite loop. I just saw like comments Jaime had made where like after talking about the loop, he determined that Odysseus to 1 is probably not correct.
I know for Mystery Flair, because the double thing isn't supposed to happen. You're supposed to ride a grade 3 from Soul. The idea is you get 1 Mystery Flair in there and blast out Chronojet, therefore you're forced to ride whatever you want to, that being Mystery Flair. So the way to fix that would be Mystery Flair to 1. A, it means they can damage check it and have it ruined. B, they get 1 extra turn, and usually that's not what kills you, because you can prep for that. You can like PG on the first turn, and then when they restand, their hand's gone, and they can't really like capitalize on it. The point is that you can't draw and drive check and things like that. So by doing that, they get 1 of those, and then it's your turn again. I think that doing that would be okay. If they want to nuke it, I don't care. That's fine. Stun verse to 1, because the first one isn't what kills you; it's the second one. And also probably help bring down the price a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like the fact that like Vanquisher is still meta after all this crazy shit is like kind of ridiculous.
Powerful sword, Dungaree,
and vowing. Yeah, but just the fact that like Vanquisher in particular has like been meta for a while and just keeps sticking around, including in V.
Agree. So I think if he did those 3 things, we'd be in a pretty good position.
Yeah, probably.
Because I'm okay with stuff being crazy if you have your regular ban list that like keep that shit in check. It's different if they go, well, we do them whenever we feel like it. Then you got to prod them. But if they have like a semi-regular schedule,
they do.
Then they can do their job when the job arises. It's okay for crazy shit to happen. It's not okay to let it run wild for like a year at a time.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll ever just like touch No Life King on the principle of this deck has been exactly the same for the last like 3 years and still manages to top somehow.
It's working.
This is not to say that it deserves to be hit or anything. I'm just like, I wonder if they're just annoyed that this fucking card has been exactly the same for like years and years now, and like just keeps topping somehow.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, like No Life King is just eternal at this point.
Are you saying it has no life? How do you kill that which has no life? The sword of 1,000 truths. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think
Matt,
I don't think Standard needs touching, and they probably won't touch anything because we have new support on the horizon. Mm-hmm. Let's see. V, the new set just came out, and the meta is still establishing itself. I doubt they'll do anything right now.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, they might unban some cards that like aren't problematic, but also I feel like recently Bushiro just forgets that it can unban cards.
Well, you're allowed to do that?
Did you have any like things you wanted to see?
I think you all got most of them. Like I think I'm of the opinion that you should just kill decks that are like just kill Odysseus. I don't even want obviously just kill what I don't even know what you kill honestly, but like I don't know if a deck is like a huge problem and you can kill something that basically makes the deck non-existent because the deck is like completely uninteractive or whatever. You should just kill it.
Yes.
Do the tie rolls for striding. Help curb Thavas and Nightmare Doll.
Yeah. So anyways, like BCS and Duluth.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's see. Do you have all of the infographics for that, or do you want me to just read them out?
You can read them out because I haven't actually uploaded them to put them on the screen, so please, have at it.
All right, so top 8 in Standard was Toothagria, a Kyrie, a Gravidia, a Nirvana, a Flagberg, a Bobsagra, and a Loroneril. This card just keeps coming up.
That's good. That's nice and varied.
Yeah. No, like, again, Standard is in a pretty good place. The meta is pretty diverse. The top 4 were the Toothagrias, and then 3rd place was Gravidia, 4th place was Kyrie.
Okay.
So Gravidia is quite heavily played in NA.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Kyrie is seen a lot at the bottom tables, and then only one of them ever manages to top at a time.
Yeah, NA is not great at Kyrie, so...
honestly, I'm surprised, like, Nirvana tops anything, but like it is strong enough to like just get there sometimes, especially if you dodge enough removal matchups.
I was having a discussion earlier today about Sigria and it being popular in NA, and it's mostly because it just fights Gravidia quite well.
Yeah,
like
being able to.
Are you sure it's not a different reason?
I'm
I mean, yes, but also like Light Thagria is very good at like building a board, and also Dark Thagria. Theoretically, you could like retire things and just retire your own rear guards to like blast Gravidia's rear guards because they only play like 8 of them anyways.
Yeah. I didn't even think of like removal being a thing you could do against Gravidia because I've been so focused on like the meteors and the
they only play like 10 rear
stuff.
guards, so you just like blast them and then they look at their handful of meteors like oh.
It's like Amazon running out of workers to exploit.
Yeah.
In a world where people were better or people play more Kyrie, it might not happen that way. Where people were better at playing against Gravidia, perhaps. But either way, that's kind of the discussion we were having. Is like, well, why is Thagria popular? You know. So that was interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. Because Kyrie is on a watch list in Japan. Like
really?
The deck's real good.
No shit.
Like if they ban anything, like I expect them to just hit something from Kyrie because it was already on a watch list. They might also hit things from Nirvana. I heard Nirvana was also on the watch list in Japan. And
interesting.
Like, they're probably annoyed that people are still playing the old one over the new one because the new one is kind of mid.
I see. Why? Just because having the plus 10k on attack is like good enough instead of having to do that. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, because I was like testing it out, and the new Nirvana Jiva is just like, your numbers are really small. You have the battle door to help with that, but it's like, eh. And then you just lose so much advantage having to cross over. So like the way people ended up playing Nirvana, like obviously people just play like Jiva, but a lot of people are still on the old Nirvana, and some people have tested out this weird hybrid build with both of them. And that was like kind of interesting. So yeah, I just feel like as of right now, Jiva does not offer anything over the original Nirvana aside from having one card with resist.
That's the problem with like when you do it so well the first time, you can't really, unless you want to power creep the fuck out of the thing, which they really.
But also,
really
like crossover as a mechanic is just a step back, right? Like usually they go the other way around, where you need like 2 cards to overdress, and then you make it 1, and then they made it so you needed 1 card to overdress originally, and now it's 2.
And then the payoff isn't good enough. Like it's just
like having a restanding battle door is nice, but it's like probably not enough.
You gotta, if you're gonna do something like that, give it protection, right? Their version of resist, all that stuff.
Yeah, like they have something with resist, but it's also small. It's only like 15k, and you don't have a way to gain a lot of power outside of overdressing the 1 dragon that gives you power. And then that's just like the one, and you have that for the 1 turn, and then it's gone. Where the original Nirvana, everything was just huge.
So it's like going from Gaia to Gaia Death Parade.
So for V Premium, we have 2 Dark Irregulars because Dark Irregulars is eternal. 2 Gear Chronicle. Apparently Steam Maiden is just really good. 2 Narukami because Vanquisher is also eternal at this point. 1 Royal Paladin and 1 Great Nature.
I am so proud.
It wasn't you, Alex?
It wasn't me. I didn't fly to Duluth, Minnesota. I was in.
First of all, it's in Alabama.
Really? I thought Duluth was
It's in Georgia.
It's in Georgia. Sorry, my bad. I was thinking some southern state, but it's in Georgia.
Okay. Well, I didn't fly to Georgia for this thing.
Dang.
So.
So the top 4 were 2 Gear Chronicle decks. Apparently, Steam Maidens are very good. Ask Time Leap about it. I'm sure he's. I saw him gushing about it on Twitter, but I have not actually seen the deck in execution yet. 3rd place was Leopold. Go for it, Atlas. And then 4th place
I'll gush about it later, but
yeah. So 4th place was Vanquisher because Vanquisher. Like that deck is just still good.
They haven't done anything to curb it. It's one of those things where like it's Gold Paladin's eternal enemy and Gold's. I think that's kind of the reason they left it for V. Yeah. Right.
Just Golds just did not top anything in Duluth V.
Just like I googled it, there is a Duluth, Minnesota. I'm not crazy.
Okay.
There's 2 Duluth. Okay.
I believe you.
Yeah.
It was just in Georgia because it's the Atlanta regional. They just held it right outside of Atlanta in Duluth because the convention center is easier to get to.
Oh.
I don't know if you've ever been around Atlanta. Traffic is annoying, so you want to avoid it at all costs.
As a LA native, I bet I've had it worse.
Well, yeah, but that's not the point.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So I'll get the Leopold thing out of the way. Leopold Reverse is very good. I have tested it. The ability in Great Nature to search as many grade 3s as you do, even in V, where there's no Mike Saburo in V, but you still have things like Parakeet, you have your top 5 searcher, and just an ability to dig through your deck fairly easily. So getting to Leo's requirement of locking a different Leopold to get the effect off, and then making it so your front row's got 5k and he's got a crit is just so good and easy. By the way, I learned a thing after we played our games. What? So it turns out That, because Leopold Reverse turns everything into a normal trigger and order card all at once. Things like the I forgot the name, lovey-dovey, the pink bird that calls the thing that you mill. In her case, the thing that I would call off of it immediately disintegrates because it's also an order card.
No shot.
I'm not even kidding. So I was misplaying that entire time. I'm sorry. A. B, it came out for the Parakeet after that game anyway, so it's not as much of a problem. But C, it's still just like it's such a solid, like easy card to use that you can just slot in with pretty much a mishmash of other Great Nature cards. You have the Lemur that allows you to countercharge and soul charge. It's so simple and perfect. I'm done. Moving on.
It's one of those things where you just play all the good Great Nature cards and it just works.
Yeah. Pile deck. Yeah, definitely.
It really is. Like, I'm looking at this list and it looks very similar to the one that I played against you over the weekend.
Yeah.
And then, again, I know nothing about Steam Maidens, but apparently it's just very strong. So no Gogurt anywhere to be seen.
What did you say, Matt?
The deck is very straightforward. Also,
Steam Maiden
Good to know. And then for premium, we have 2 Gear Chronicle, 2 Dark Irregulars, 2 Narukami. These decks will never go away.
Yeah.
Until they hit them. 1 Spike Brothers and Link Joker.
Link Joker?
Yes, and apparently it was like a Deleter Messiah hybrid.
That
just
raises further questions.
Why?
Yep.
I gotta find that list. That's amazing. That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, Chaos Breaker topped in like Houston or whatever.
That's true. Wasn't there like 2 or something?
Yeah, there was like 2. No, there was 1 in top 8 for V, and then for premium, Chaos Breaker got like top 4.
Gotcha.
But that was in Houston. So yeah. And then the premium finals was Eradicators in first place, Vanquisher in second place, I roll. Mystery Flair in third place, and No Life King in fourth place.
And not a ripple to be found in sight somehow.
Yes.
Excellent.
Like, that is nice. I'm glad that ripples are just eating shit, but also 3 of the 4 top decks have just not gone away for the past, like, who knows how long.
Yeah.
Well, at least we get to avoid the Ripple Menace once.
Yeah. Yep. It'll remain to be seen. Well, actually, we might be getting a ban list soon, so maybe that'll just be dead, and we get to like go through this format, not having to actually live through the Ripple Menace.
Oh, yeah. True.
We do have till December to get our shit figured out, at least for Root Beer Night. But
yep. And then,
are there any up near your area, promos. Matt?
Not really. No.
Bummer.
Yeah.
They also announced some of these like really late.
Yes, really they just updated all of like the Asia Oceanica ones.
Goddamn. I know there's a fair number of shop challenges here in SoCal, which I'm going to try and do a couple just for that buy card. So
I would go to them, but my car is still not out of the shop yet because COVID and can't get any parts.
How long has it been in the shop?
Like a month.
Oh my god, that's awful. God, now I'm living in a not walkable city. Lose my shit for sure.
Yeah, they told me it would be 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks, they're like, "No, it's not ready yet." And then the next week, "No, it's not ready yet." And then this week is half over. So if they don't call me tomorrow, it's not going to be ready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, like there is a shop challenge, and I know where that shop is. It's just like a pain in the ass to go over there.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'm not sure what format I feel like playing. Like, I need to do an actual serious Battle Sister list that's not just me explaining what foods they're named after.
Honestly, I enjoyed the hell out of that one. Like, most of there were some things I did know, but most of the things I just didn't know what these desserts were. Or whatever. And, like, the only thing I really, like, knew or / corrected you on was the fromage thing. And then omelet to fromage. So, yeah, it's a good time. It's I think the latest video aside from
yes,
this
it
one.
is.
So go back and watch that one. on the Nexus
but
channel.
I will upload an actual serious Battle Sister list and discussion, and like a fight video that we recorded.
Yeah, go for it. I should. Do you want the login for this so you can do the picture on the side thing, so you don't have to put cards down, or do you not care?
No, I can just use OBS.
All right. Well, what do you want to see on that ban list? Are you excited for the rest of this tournament season? What do you think of Crest or Colgate or whatever the fuck it is? Comment below. Leave a like. Tell a friend. Patreon.com/Nexus at Night. Get a whole ass bonus show every week with the three of us, sometimes a guest. Merch, playmats, all that good stuff. That's in the description. Find us at Nexus at Night on Twitter and Instagram. Where can they find the rest of us?
Find me on Twitter at Wiggums2Gs2Zs.
You can find me at Plasma Eclipse.
Find me at Atlas Novak, Twitter, Instagram, or follow my other podcast at Generation Dan on Twitter, Generation_Dan on Instagram. That is going through a little bit of a transition period, so shit's about to get real crazy. We lost our Zoomer, and we're getting a time god in his stead. So get ready for that. Thanks everybody for listening, and until next time, I was Atlas.
I'm still Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And have a good night, everybody.